Stella. Hey, how you doing? Starting in a well-known Kansas City landmark here, the Plaza. Gonna go up, I guess we'll go up we'll go up Broadway and then to Westport and then to Mean Street. I'm testing the stereo lavalier microphone, which is a double mic, and the wide angle lens, which I can see a little vignetting on the side, but the wide angle lens will enable me to use two cameras instead of trying to have to go for three, because the third camera is always busy. This way I can drive around. I'm bound to get interrupted on this too. I got a phone call probably coming at me. This is me trying to take the coffee cup. Teacup, actually. J.C. Nichols Parkway, you've got a long light. And yet another in a long series of Kansas City lights. We complain a lot about the Kansas City lights. All right, my turn. And then I got to turn. No, I don't. I'm going up to Chessport. I got a name for everything. Oh, hope I didn't screw up by getting in this lane. City officials are doing something. Well, it looks like they're just picking up trash. I thought they were doing something at the J.C. Nichols fountain, but it looks like they're just picking up trash. I got a little vignetting on this too. Hope I don't screw that up. Oop, I made it worse on the right side. That's a little better. The cases actually don't work well with the lenses sometimes, and the lenses are not always the best quality. I know this one isn't. Apparently did screw up because people are parked where they shouldn't be parked in front of the J.C. Nichols Park. It is J.C. Nichols Park, I think. Coming up on St. Luke's. Well, my hand is big and my head is small. And Jimmy doing what Jimmy does best. Watch this. Doggy. There's a doggy. There's a doggy. Get the dog. Get the dog. Oh, Jimmy, why'd you have to use me as a brace? See the doggy? You see the doggy, Jim? Stella! What you doing, Stella? Stella's hiding in the back seat as always. And we have the Vietnam War Memorial Park. I'm glad we have war memorials and not peace memorials. It'd be a shame if peace were rarer than war, but although I sometimes I think peace is rarer than war. Rarer, is it rarer a word? It's a hard word to say. Rarer. Sounds like I'm barking. Rarer, rarer. All right, turning Ralph on Chessport. Watch, I'll get home and then somebody will say, "Oh, we need you here. We got something for you to do." Oh, great. Not that I'm objecting to something to do. I love my work, but when you get home and then somebody says, we got a job for you. And drive all the way back. It's a waste of time. It's cold today. It's supposed to warm up. It'll be nice by the end of the day. Yesterday was pretty nice, but sort of brisk. I like my wide angle lenses. It gives you a nice view of everything. Yep, that's as wide as it goes. Oddly correct coffee. Just say cash is all boarded up. Just say no to payday loans. Right, Jimmy? Right? You got eye boogers again. Stella, where are you? Stella! Where are you? There she is. Always hiding. Although I think this shows more of me and the steering wheel. I need to tilt it a little more towards Jimmy there. Maybe one of these Kansas City lights will oblige, but they only work when you don't really want them to. See? Maybe the next one. A couple of days ago was my friend's birthday, the one that passed away in 2015, September. I'm passing by the place where he used to live, where he passed away. It's a sad memory for me. Very creative guy, very nice guy. Jose, Santa Cruz. And it was his birthday. What is today, the 13th? Today is the anniversary of Miss T passing away. Miss T was our good, faithful dog. We say Miss T because it still upsets Stella to hear her name. Starts looking for her. And we believe 2 days after she passed away, this one was born. All right. Ooh, it's twisting out of its holster. I have to twist it that way. Get some of that steering wheel out of there, although yeah, so 2 years ago, I guess, was pretty rough. Lots of memories that that's good that this one was brought into the world. He brings a lot of joy wherever he goes. Usually, but he's not being bad. He's a doggy, Jimmy, doggy, come on, pop. Wake up, Jimmy! So, tomorrow is Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. And it's also Valentine's Day, and it's just way too much crammed into one. Tomorrow I have to get up early and go to a small business meeting. Just way too much crammed into 2 few days. And Main Street District picking up trash. It's just the way this year has worked out. And Fridays will be the Hibernian shrimp boil. Raise money for the St. Patrick's Day parade, which comes in the middle of March. And you know, the Hibernian Society, Hibernian Club, I can't remember what it is. They have a shrimp boil at my church, the Redemptorist Church, big church in Broadway and 33rd Street, and you know, Catholics can't eat meat on Fridays during Lent, but they can eat fish and shrimp and things like that. So they use that to raise money during Lent to fund their activities for St. Patrick's Day. And it probably is the best shrimp dinner, shrimp boil out there in Kansas City. I'm putting a plug in. Don't know if our budgetary constraints will ever allow us to partake, but we'll see. Jimmy, you're not very, you know, of course I could tilt down and show more of Jim. And more of my hand. Oops, less of my hand. There's a truck. And this guy is not gonna let me get around. Maybe that's something of a balance. I don't know. Showing more of my Buddha. And Jimmy. Jimmy the Jimothy. True North. Oh, speaking of which, I may have an appointment on Wednesday too. Gosh, too much going on. Kansas City is really never too busy during the weekdays. Not-for-profit banking, Mazuma. Have more of my tea. Streetcar. It all seems kind of rickety, but it's up there all right. There's a doggy, and I'm not lying this time. There's a doggy. Look, doggy. Jimmy, there's a doggy. Oh, see? You missed it, Jimmy. I told you there was a doggy. You have to pay attention now. Keep your eyes open. I don't know what the temperature is right now. Barkley. It's like a name of a dog place. Barkley. Advertising agency, actually. Excuse me. I don't know how this mic is sounding. I'm going to find out, I guess. More deconstruction. Jimmy. What's up, Jimbo? Woof, 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 woof. Jimmy. Stella. Ooh, excuse me. We're following behind a streetcar. For some reason, the streetcar stations are right at the ends of the block. So when the streetcar stops, even though you have a green light, the intersection is blocked. You can't. If you go through the intersection, you might be stuck in the intersection as you're behind the streetcar, or I don't know. It seems like you put it on the other end of the block. I see a recumbent bicycle over there. Cool. Yawning so much. Didn't see my green light. guess I can go around now. Sometimes I like to follow the streetcars. I just like to look at them as they go along, but usually also recording video of them. But not today. Unfortunately, today we're going to pass by the DP and the dogs will wake up and be all like, I want to go. There's Stella. She already knows where she's at. I think she knows what DP means. Hey, Stella? Hey? River Key is where we be. There's an old PCC car. President's Conference Car is what PCC stands for. The presidents of all the streetcar lines got together in a conference and put together requirements for a new design for a streetcar, I think in the 1940s. And that's what they came up with, this streamlined design and modern for that time. I believe that way also, if you have all the cars designed the same way, then parts are cheaper and manufacturing is cheaper, because you know the streetcar lines were starting to fight for their survival. They couldn't stay profitable when they were up against automobiles, and a lot of them were being taken over as utilities. You know, like bus companies were taking them over, and the bus companies were more heavily invested in buses and didn't like the electric trolleys, so they were getting rid of them. Yeah, there's one person in the DP. I'm sorry, Stella. The weather is just too nasty. When the weather starts getting better, we'll do it. And you're like, yeah, right. And when the weather gets nicer, you'll be too busy. You'll start getting busy. You'll get all sorts of work and everything. I'm like, well, yeah, probably. Busy season. This is sort of the slow season, but it's starting to pick up. We hope. Right, doggies? ASB Bridge, Armorsmith, Burlington. The crossing of the Jefferson Highway into over the Missouri River from north of Kansas City into Kansas City proper. At the time of Jefferson Highway, there was no such thing as Kansas City North. The city of Kansas City didn't cede all that land until, I believe, the 1960s. Matter of fact, I don't even know if there was a North Kansas City. Yeah, it probably was. Pretty severely backlit back there. Could use a tinted window. Right, Jimothy? Oop, green light. Ooh, we just crossed over 198,000 miles. This car is doing all right for 198,000 miles. North Kansas City. Hohenschildt. Doing a good job there, Jimmy, being my prop dog, posing. It's too bad you can't speak. I'll stick the mic on you and interview you. Like, so how is it being a dog? See, shall we go up North Oak or go up 169? Time for decision is at hand. Oop, I think we're drifting towards North Oak. Slow lane. Was good. It got better towards the end. And the mug is really good. We got it coming back from Yosemite on sale at Starbucks. It was half price. I'm like, I'm always wanting to have a hot drink with me while I'm driving so that I can be more alert, you know, like coffee or whatever. And the mug really keeps the drink warm for a long time, like half a day. You know, nice little thermos mug. Usually they were like $23, $24. I think I got it for $13, so that's not bad. Half price. I see that they keep offering them that sale. Like normally you see them, they're not that, they're full price, but then every so often, like after Christmas time, they have them on sale or whatever. They're good mugs, and they're durable too. I've dropped it a couple times. Still hanging in there. That phone call, the person I've been working for, and it always works out. You get a hold of them, they're in a meeting, they call you back, and you're in the Apple store, and I had to turn my phone over because I had to get the glass. That wasn't something I really wanted to do. It wasn't cheap. Not glass repaired, but the glass protector, because I couldn't use this wide angle adapter without the glass protector, and I couldn't very well do the podcast without the wide angle adapter, because it would only show like half of me and half of the other. And I guess, they give you like a lifetime warranty on these things, supposedly. But, I don't know. You go in, you try and get it. They don't make it easy. It was just easier to just spend the money, I think. You got to send it through the mail to them, and it's like I think $15 to do that. It's crazy. It's like, not to mention your time and everything. Plus, everybody loses everything that they require you to have. Oh, you must have the box and this and that. I didn't even bother to get the box of this thing. The receipt, whatever. It's one of those things that really sounds nice, but it doesn't really work in the real world, I don't think. Jimmy the D. Some of these little, this is a town, Village of Oakwood. It's called the Village. This is actually a town. And when I look on the maps, these little villages are older than the city of Gladstone. And actually, older than the Kansas City North. May even be older than North Kansas City. It's weird. If I were to surmise why they exist, it might have something to do with the interurban line running through this area, and the people, wealthier people wanting to live in a village setting and not be in the city, but still be able to come and go as they please. And that would be from like 1900 to 1933, until the automobile took over. But I don't know that for a fact. In the days of traveling by horse, what seems like a small distance to us is actually a huge distance. Counties were originally designed so that if you were traveling via horse and wagon, it would take you about half a day to get from one part of the county to the other, or to the middle, from the far east to the middle, and that's about 15 miles. And that's traveling, 7 miles an hour? So that should take you, 2.5 hours? The horse travels 7 miles an hour while it's not running but walking. And that's navigating some of the tricky roads and paths that they had back then. If you had a covered wagon and oxen, which was the way a lot of the pioneers traveled from this area to the West Coast, I saw the plaque in downtown Overland Park said that part of the Santa Fe Trail was a full 2 days travel from Westport. And that's hard to believe. That's 10 minutes by car? 2 days by slow. But of course you're walking human pace and not very fast. And what they say, they would travel how many miles a day? I think 7 to 14 miles a day. Come on, you get a green light. 7 to 14 miles a day, depending on their obstacles. Because back then there were no bridges, or they were just the wheel ruts you were following. There weren't even roads. You were just following the path of the other wagons. And when you came to a river, you had to ford the river, and you hoped that the river would be low enough you could do that. Otherwise you'd have to wait. And there's pictures of the wagons. They would take the wheels off and put them in the wagon and make sure the wagon was sealed, and the wagon all of a sudden becomes a boat so they could ford the rivers. And of course the oxen would have to go across on foot. Actually, on foot, they'd have to swim across, and you hope they didn't drown. Because if they drowned, that was your mode of transportation. That was like your engine died, literally died. Oop, we're all crooked. We're crooked, doggies. We're crooked. So yeah, that would not be easy at all. And you would travel all the way to the Columbia River in Oregon, or to California, around the San Francisco area, or to Santa Fe. Although the Santa Fe track was more a commercial route than a pioneer route. Plus, some people didn't even have the oxen and the wagons and stuff. There were some people who traveled west pushing hand carts. And a lot of people don't know that, but there were parties of people who were pushing all their belongings on a hand cart. Oh, could you imagine that? That would not be fun. And that's probably, if you're lucky, a couple of miles a day. And they would start some might start as early as April or May, but usually they would start in June, and it would say it's supposed to take you 90 days to get there, so arrive by the end of the summer, August, September. And some people, if they left late, like in July, August, September, October, and you can get into some early snowstorms. The one thing you didn't want to do is get up into the mountains, into the passes, and be hit with an early onset of snow. And there's one group of people that did, the Donner Party, and I'm not sure, they may have been one of those groups that was pushing the handcarts. There's a pass up there named after him, Donner Pass, in the Sierra Mountains. They got caught in the snow, and the only way they could survive was through cannibalism, eating the bodies of the people who had passed away. Infamous incident happened, I think, in the 1840s, like 1847. Well, anyway, we're done. We'll see how this looks. So, woohoo!